This exhibition is called Bloom Inward, which is actually taken from a really nice passage in a book called Wretchedness by André Tichy. He describes a person's face as blooming inwards like an infection, and that kind of related quite aptly to the surface of the paintings. The way that they don't kind of come out at you, everything is moving inwards. The light comes from in, and the surface is very kind of flat. You look into it like a vitrine. The show's at a gallery called Ginnie on Frederick, and it opened last week and is open until December the 11th. The process is a really idiosyncratic one, and one that's kind of taken me quite a long time to refine and remove bits from that process, I guess, just to make it more time efficient and to be able to do what I want with the materials and fail less, I suppose. I seal the canvas with a glue, which is the same glue that you can mix with chalk or titanium white to make a gesso, but it just makes a very quick kind of slippy surface that I can remove things if needs be. So when I paint, a lot of the gestures happen, and then I remove them, or I erase them, or I kind of crinkle them, or run something through them. So that kind of process of sealing the surface allows me to go backwards, which is kind of, in essence, how it relates to the digital, even though they're not digital paintings. You know, with the digital, you can go back, or you're in a space where you can move back and start again. So a lot of the paint that I use is like single pigments, very kind of like refined synthetic pigments, which give that like luminosity. In terms of relating to the digital, the paintings are backlit as such. The surface is very white, and all the light that comes from within, it shines back through the paint. So it's not necessarily about the paint being transparent, it's about mediating the translucency and kind of letting that light come through. Yeah, I don't want to over-romanticize the kind of needing to paint. I do feel that, and I think all painters, or all artists, feel that kind of obsessive urge to make something, or to touch something, or leave your mark on something. I think for me, painting is a very meditative experience. I can't say I've ever done yoga or actually meditated, but I feel like the act of painting fills that role for me, being in the studio. I've got quite a few works on Gertrude, more to come, and one that I'd like to talk about is the kind of bigger one. It's about 170 by 170, 023. I number them all kind of pretty unceremoniously, just to get a feel for where they sit in my own timeline. But that work, for example, was really difficult. I've been working on these standardized sizes of like 1 meter by 1 meter, 70 by 70. But when you go bigger, the gesture, you can't just scale up the gestures. It's not like the same gesture, but bigger. You have to kind of invent new gestures that suit the scale. It's kind of like turning a doorknob as opposed to like pulling open a shutter. And trying to do that is something that is, I don't know, it's like doing the unknowable. You've got to do it, and you've got to do it constantly to find those new gestures and those new ways of working. And I think for me, that painting actually enabled me to make the paintings that I have now, because I was scaling up those gestures and I found those new gestures. So hopefully, in the coming few weeks and months, I'll be making like some bigger paintings and kind of refining those gestures a little bit. In terms of what I've got coming up, I've got a paperwork included in the Painters Painting Paintings online exhibition. It's in collaboration with the Gallery Climate Coalition, so they're hoping to reduce the carbon emissions of galleries in London and hopefully the world by 50%. And obviously back in the studio making some paintings. I live and work in my studio, so that's quite a nice time now, having just opened a show, to kind of reassess what I'm doing and, yeah, make some new work.